Welcome to today's Explainer. If you've ever considered a career in early childhood education, or maybe you're a current teacher looking to upskill, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're building a complete, comprehensive study guide for aspiring educators, and we're focusing entirely on getting your certificate in Montessori Teacher Training. This is a credential that is absolutely transforming how teachers enter the classroom and, honestly, how students learn. Okay, let's dive into this.
Here is our study guide blueprint for today. 1. Defining Montessori training. 2. Core takeaways. 3. Duration and eligibility. 4. Certification steps. And finally, 5. Your global journey.
All right, starting right off with Section 1, Defining Montessori Teacher Training.
So, I want you to just think about this for a second. What exactly is Montessori training? We hear that term thrown around a lot in education circles, right? But what does a set program actually teach an instructor to do? And how does it really differ from those traditional classroom setups that we all probably grew up with? Let's take a look. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the total shift away from traditional rigid teaching. Instead of a teacher just standing at the front of the room lecturing to rows of desks, a Montessori education is an entirely child-centered approach. You're basically being trained to foster freedom, to facilitate hands-on learning, and to nurture the whole child. So we're talking about not just their academic test scores, but their social and emotional well-being too. For example, instead of just drilling multiplication tables into their heads, you might learn how to use tactile beads to let kids physically discover math concepts completely on their own. You're learning to become a guide rather than just a lecturer.
In practice, this means your curriculum covers the whole shebang. You've got Montessori philosophy and child psychology, hands-on learning techniques, everyday classroom management, and early childhood certification practices. You are learning exactly how to make early years classrooms fun, engaging, and above all, absolutely safe for kids. It really bridges that gap between high-level educational theory and the everyday reality of a classroom.
Moving right along to Section 2, Core Takeaways and Benefits.
So, why pursue this? Well, a massive benefit here is the flexibility. Because of how the educational landscape has evolved recently, online platforms have completely changed the game. You can literally get this certification by learning anytime and anywhere. It is also incredible for career advancement, and surprisingly, it's highly beginner-friendly. So whether you're a recent grad or a working professional trying to pivot to a new field, it's built to accommodate you. Plus, the credential carries global recognition, which means your skills aren't just locked to one single geographical area.
To sum up the value proposition here, getting this training and credential is just a smart, long-term investment. It's not just about getting a job for the next year. It is about building a globally recognized career that opens doors for you in classrooms all around the world.
Okay, let's look at the numbers in Section 3, Course Duration and Eligibility.
Here is your visual cheat sheet for the nitty-gritty details. The time commitment? It's incredibly manageable. Programs typically run anywhere from 3 to 12 months, and that just depends on your pace and the specific certification level. The barrier to entry is also super accessible. You just need a minimum qualification of 10+2, which is essentially completing your standard secondary schooling. And who is this ideal for? Well, it's open to aspiring teachers, homeschoolers wanting a more structured approach, and even existing early childhood educators who just want to formally upgrade their credentials.
Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 4, Steps to Earn Certification.
This right here is a very straightforward roadmap, making the whole process feel incredibly achievable, especially for a beginner. Step 1, just verify your basic 10+2 eligibility. Easy enough. Step 2, sign up for a recognized online or in-person course. Now, Step 3, this is really the core phase. This is where the heavy lifting happens. It's where you put your head down, you internalize that child-centered philosophy, and you finish your needed coursework and tests. And finally, Step 4, you cross the finish line and earn a certification that is recognized on a global scale. Literally, 4 simple steps stand between you and a brand new career path.
And finally, Section 5, Your Global Teaching Journey.
The career scope here is absolutely massive. You aren't just pigeonholed into one specific type of school. Earning this certificate qualifies you for preschool teaching jobs, specialized nursery teacher roles, and broader early childhood care and education positions. And the geographic scope, just as exciting. There are incredible opportunities everywhere from India to the UK and all across the globe. You are literally opening up an international job market for yourself by holding this specific, universally respected credential.
And honestly, the best part is how accessible this whole upskilling process has become. Modern online learning ecosystems like the platform Boothie make this entire journey possible. They provide high-quality, low-cost, and flexible training options that are perfectly tailored for the needs of 21st-century teachers.
You can learn at your own pace while picking up skills that translate directly into a real-world classroom. It just completely removes those traditional bottlenecks of crazy high costs and super rigid schedules.
So, we've walked through the study guide. We've seen how a Montessori certification empowers you to embrace that child-centered philosophy. We've seen how surprisingly accessible the timeline and eligibility requirements are. And we've explored the massive global career scope waiting for you at the end of the process. So, I want to leave you with one final thought as you consider your career path. You have the roadmap. The tools are online and accessible. Are you ready to take that first step and shape the minds of tomorrow? Thanks for joining me on today's Explainer, and I'll see you next time.